Hello, my name is Robert Hood, and I've been involved in the casino industry since 1979. I started at the age of 18, and I was the youngest dealer in America for about 6 months. I've enjoyed it ever since. I've learned all the games, blackjack, baccarat, craps, roulette. I've trained thousands and thousands of employees to learn to be casino dealers and supervisors. So now allow me to teach you the rules to the game of craps. Now let me tell you about craps. As you approach the game of craps, you're going to see 3 casino dealers and another man in the middle of the game, probably in a suit. That's the box man. The 2 people to his right and to his left are the base dealers. The one directly in front of him is called the stick man. He's called the stick man because he's holding a stick. So you see, it can't be that difficult. The person to either side of the box man, they're known as the base dealers, and they're responsible for paying and taking the wagers on their side of the layout. The box man is part of the management team at the casino, and he sits in front of the money box. When you put your money on the table to buy in, the base dealer hands it to him. He tells the base dealer how much money to give you after he counts out your money. The base dealer on your side of the table will issue you your gaming chips. Now that you've bought in, we need to start the game. We need a come-out roll. We need a shooter, and the shooter is you. When you put your chip down, chances are good that you put it on the pass line. When you put your chip on the pass line, you're making a statement. You're putting your money where your mouth is. You're saying, I think I'm going to pick up the dice, I'm going to roll them, and I'm going to repeat the number that I just rolled before the number 7 rolls. So you pick up your dice, you shake them, you'll be offered 5, but please only take 2. You'll throw them the length of the table, the opposite of where you are, and the stick man will call out that number. 4. The base dealers, as he retrieves the dice, will mark the point. We just had our come-out roll. We have a point of 4. The object of the game, or the point of the game, is to repeat the number 4 before the number 7 rolls. If that happens, and you throw the dice again, and you roll a number 4, the don't pass loses, the pass line wins, and you're offered the dice again to shoot to get another point. You will continue to be the shooter for as long as you can complete your points. Now let's say we pick up the dice and we roll them, and we roll a 10. We would mark the point of 10. Anyone wagering on the pass line wants the 10 to repeat. Anyone wagering on the don't pass wants the 7 to come before the number 10. If you pick up the dice and roll them, and the 7 rolls, you'll lose your pass line bet. The don't pass line bettors will win, and we will dump the bowl and find another shooter. It's the next person's turn. The reason there's 2 base dealers is the base dealer on each side will satisfy of up to 7 players that can wager on his side. The layout is duplicated, so there's no wager on the one side that you can't have on the other. And now let's learn about dice. A funny thing about the dice, a set of dice was found buried with the pharaohs over in ancient Egypt. These were the dice that were used by the soothsayers to tell the pharaoh to plant his corn early, to go marry this woman, or go to war. Years later, when they were discovered, they were x-rayed and they were found to be loaded. The game of craps is based on dice. Let me tell you a little information about the dice. A die is a six-sided cube. The uppermost side added to the place side will total the number 7. So if a 1 is uppermost, there will be a 6 on the bottom. If a 2 is uppermost, there will be a 5. The stick man will call the uppermost side, the high side of the dice. The opposite will total 7. There are a total of 6 ways to roll the number 7. You can have a 1 and a 6, or you can have a 6 and a 1. You can have a 2 and a 5, or you can have a 5 and a 2. You could have a 3 and a 4, or a 4 and a 3. That is 6 possible ways to roll the number 7. There's no other number that you can roll that many times, that many ways. For instance, if we were to try to attempt to roll the number 4, we could have a 1 and a 3, or we could have a 3 and a 1. That's 2 ways. The only other possible way to roll the number 4 is a 2 and a 2. Well, think about it. If there's 6 ways to roll a 7, but only 3 ways to roll a 4, isn't it twice as likely that the 7's going to roll than a 4? Well, the odds are 2 to 1 against the number 4. It's twice as likely that a 7 will roll because there's 6 ways to roll a 7 and there's 3 ways to roll a 4. Now you've just learned what odds are. Now let's continue. Remember, the place side will total the number 7. So on the opposite side of the 2 will be a 5. And on the opposite side of this 2 will be a 5. So the place side of the 4 is the 10. What does that tell us? It tells us that the odds for the 10 are identical to the odds of the 4. It's just as likely that a 4 is going to roll as a 10. There's 3 ways to roll a 4, there's 3 ways to roll a 10, but there's 6 ways to roll a 7. So the odds for the 4 and the 10 are both 2 to 1. That's true odds. True odds are the number of ways to roll a number compared to the number of ways to roll the number 7. The same holds true for the other available points. For instance, you can roll a 5 by rolling a 1 and a 4, or a 4 and a 1. That's 2 ways. You can also roll it a 2 and a 3, or a 3 and a 2. So there's 4 ways to roll the 5, and there's 6 ways to roll a 7. So when you divide that out, the odds for the 5 and the 9, the 5's place side, will be the odds of 3 to 2. For every 2 5s that roll, 3 7s will roll. Now let's take a look at the 6 and the 8. You can roll a 1 and a 5. You can roll a 5 and a 1. You can roll a 2 and a 4, or a 4 and a 2. The only other possible combination to roll the number 6 is 3 and 3. That means there's 5 ways to roll a 6 and 6 ways to roll a 7. So the 7's going to come more common, but not by much. So the odds are 6 to 5. Remember, the place side totals 7. So the opposite of a 6 is the 8. The game seems intimidating because there's so many available numbers, but they're paired off. The 4 has the same odds as the 10, the 5 has the same odds as the 9, and the 6 has the same odds as the 8. They're all compared to the number of ways to roll the number 7. That's what we call true odds, and that's what the game of craps is based on. Let me illustrate that point. When the shooter rolls his dice on the come-out roll and gets a point of 4, anyone that is wagering on the pass line now knows that the odds are 2 to 1 against them. If they choose to make a wager, knowing full well that the odds are against them, this is called odds. This wager will be paid at the odds of 2 to 1. $5 will win $10 right here, and the pass line bet will win even money. What if you choose to wager saying, I don't think they're going to be able to repeat that number on a come-out roll? The shooter rolls the point of 4, and you placed your wager on the don't pass. You now know that the odds are 2 to 1 in your favor. So you have to lay twice as much to win half as much. You have to put 2 down in order to win 1. The odds are in your favor. That's why. So the pass line odds work for the 4 and the 10 at 2 to 1. And on the don't pass, you have to lay 2 to win 1. On the 5 and the 9, the odd number points, if your point is an odd number, we have to correctly calculate how to pay you. We don't have the chips to pay an odd number odds. This is where it gets a little silly. We have to let you wager an amount that we can calculate correctly. If I pay that bet at 3 to 2, $5 wins $7.50. Well, we don't have the $2.50 chips on the craps table to pay that bet correctly. So what the casino will allow the guest to do is to go to the next available even unit. The odd point has to have an even number bet behind it in the odds category. We can now divide the odds in half and multiply by 3 in order to correctly calculate the odds. On the points of 5 and 9, the odd points, the odds have to be even. It's kind of a play on words, like jumbo shrimp or military intelligence. Your odds have to be even. When the shooter gets his point, the base dealer will move over the puck. It's called a puck because it looks like, well, frankly, a hockey puck. The side off, the dark side, will let you know that your place bets are not working and cannot win or lose until a point is established. Once the shooter gets a point, the puck is put to the side that reads on. That means that the pass line is looking forward to that number repeating before the number 7 rolls. Remember, the point is the number that was rolled on the come-out roll. For this illustration, we have a point of 4. You can't take pass line odds until the point has been established. The words no call bets are placed on the layout for protection of the casino. Your odds wager goes in this area. There's no such thing as a no call bet. If the 4 is repeated by the shooter, the odds, which are 2 to 1, are going to get paid 2 for every 1 that you have wagered. Because it's twice as likely that the 7 is going to roll as a 4 is going to roll. So if the 4 does repeat, don't you deserve to win twice as much? Well, we think so too. The pass line bet is going to always get paid even money. So the odds on the 4 and the 10 are 2 to 1. Whatever you bet, you're going to win twice that amount. That's why players like the point of 4 or 10. Now you have to remember that the odds change from point to point. The odds for the 4 and the 10 are 2 to 1. The odds for the 5 and the 9 would be 3 to 2. For every 2 that you have wagered, you're going to win 3. So with a $10 pass line bet, you would take $10 odds. How many chips is in $10? 2. So guess what? You're going to win 3 chips for every 2 that you wager, because the odds are 3 to 2. Pass line will always win even money. If the point were 6, that being the first number rolled by the shooter, we're going to pay the odds 6 to 5. For every 5 that you have bet, you're going to win 6. And once again, the pass line pays even money. Since the 4 and the 10 have the same odds, they would get the same odds on the pass line. The 5 and the 9 get paid the same, and the 6 and the 8 get paid the same. So the game looks larger than it actually is. There's 6 available point numbers, but only 3 sets of odds. If the pass line wins more, the don't pass, or the evil twin, has to do the exact opposite. If, when you wager on the come out roll, you choose to wager on the don't pass line, you're going to have to lay 6 to win 5. And the flat bet, or the first bet, pays even money. The don't pass is the exact opposite of the pass line. So if on the pass line, you're wagering less to win more, on the don't pass, you have to wager more to win less. Because the odds are in your favor on the don't pass. When you're wagering on the don't pass, the odds are in your favor. On the point of 4 or 10, the odds are in your favor 2 to 1, because there's 6 ways to roll a 7, but only 3 ways to roll a 4. So since the odds are in your favor 2 to 1, the casino makes you wager 2 to win 1. On the pass line side, you're going to wager less to win more. You're going to wager 1 to win 2, because the odds are twice as likely against you repeating the number 4 as your point. The point being the first number rolled when the shooter originally got the dice. If the point were 5 or 9, there are 6 ways to roll a 7, but 4 ways to roll a 5. And when you boil that down with the least common denominator, it will become 3 to 2. The odds are 3 to 2 against the number 5 rolling. The odds are 3 to 2 against the number 9 rolling, because 9 is the place side of 5. There are 6 ways to roll a 7 and 5 ways to roll a 6. So the odds are 6 to 5 against the number 6 repeating. The odds are 6 to 5 against the number 8 repeating as well. because the 8 is the place side of the 6. If you wager on the don't, you are wagering that the dice, the true odds of the dice, that the 7 will come more frequently. The casino will allow you to do this, but you have to lay more to win less. But the odds are in your favor. So some players like to bet the don't. On a come-out roll, the shooter chooses a pair of dice and rolls them the length of the table. The shooter has to have a pass line bet, or the shooter is allowed to wager on the don't side. So when the shooter approaches and makes a pass line or a don't pass line wager, they're offered 2 dice out of the 5. They'll pick the 2 up and roll them down the length of the table. The stick person will announce the point total. They'll announce the uppermost side of this die, which is a 6, and the uppermost side of this die, which is a 2. We've now just established the point. The point is 8. Now we're going to talk about the field bet. The field bet is a wager that is made by the patron, you, any roll that you want. The next roll of the dice, if that number that's in the field rolls, you will win even money. That means that whatever you bet, that's the amount of money you're going to win. When I say in the field, I mean when you place your wager within this area, this is the field bet. If any of these numbers roll on the next roll of the dice, you get paid even money. Even money means whatever you bet is how much you win. If the number 2 or 12 rolls, we're going to pay you twice the amount. They're the long shots. So if any of these numbers roll on the next roll of the dice, you will be paid. If a number rolls that's not in the field, you will lose. This is what we call a self-service bet. The player must maintain their own wager. In other words, they have to put it down and pick up any winnings before the next roll of the dice. The base dealer will automatically react to it. They'll pay it or take it as necessary. When the stick person makes the call of the dice thrown by the shooter, the base dealer will react to the field. Now I'm going to tell you a little about the come and the don't come bets. After the point has been established, a player has the ability to make an additional wager in the come. The come area is in front of the base dealer between the pass line and the available points. When the player makes a come bet, they're saying that they believe that the shooter will repeat the next number thrown. After the come bet is made, if one of the 6 available points comes or is rolled, the come bet moves to that player's position on that come number. The shooter picks up the dice, they roll the dice, and let's say a 4 rolls. The base dealer will take your gaming chip and put it in your player position, the correct player position for the number 4. Your chip, you are interested in the 4. Everyone at the table is interested in the 8, whether the 8 rolls or not. But you are the only one that is interested in the 4. So we're going to use your gaming chip almost like your own personalized puck. You and everyone at the table have a point of 8. But you felt as though the next roll of the dice would be repeated as well. You have an 8 on the pass line, and a 4 come bet. When your come bet comes to the 4, you can take odds on that as if it were a pass line bet. The odds on the 4 are 2 to 1, so the player would make an additional wager, and that odds would pay 2 to 1 should the 4 repeat. This is like having your own private point. You have more than one point. You have the point that the whole table has because you have the pass line bet, and you also have the point of 4. You can make as many come bets in a row as you like. After the 4 comes up, you can make another come bet. Let's say the 5 rolls. Your chip will go up to the number 5. You now have the pass line of 8 and 2 come bets, the 4 and the 5. If any of these roll before the number 7, you win. If the 7 rolls before any of these numbers, you will lose all of them. Just like on the pass line, you can take pass line odds. You can take come bet odds. They are true odds as well. True odds are the number of ways that a number is rolled compared to the number of ways a 7 can be rolled. So the odds for the 4 and the 10 are 2 to 1, 5 and 9 are 3 to 2, and the odds for your 6 and 8 come bets are 6 to 5, same as the pass line. Remember how we calculated the odds on the dice? The odds on the 4 and the 10 are 2 to 1, 5 and 9 are 3 to 2, and 6 and 8 are 6 to 5. Well, the same holds true for your come bets. The don't come has the same properties as the don't pass, just as the come has the same properties as the pass line, only it's on the next roll of the dice after a point has been established. If you're betting on the don't and you think that the shooter will roll a number but roll a 7 before they repeat it again, then you are betting on the don't come. Remember, the don't come odds are that you put down more than you win. So the odds on the don't come are 2 to 1 on the 4 and 10, 3 to 2 on the 5 and the 9, and 6 to 5 on the 6 and the 8. You have to put down more to win less because the odds are in your favor. So wagering on the don't, you're betting with the number 7 as opposed to against it. And since the odds are in your favor, you have to lay more to win less. The odds are in your favor against the 4, 2 to 1. The odds are in your favor 3 to 2 against the 5 and the 9. And the odds are in your favor against the 6 and the 8, 6 to 5. So whenever you wager the don't, either the don't pass or the don't come, you're wagering with the number 7. If you're wagering on the pass line or the come, you're wagering that the next roll of the dice will repeat before the number 7. Now let me explain a place bet. Place bets are made after the point's been established, and anyone can place them, and they're in full control of their money. If you feel lucky on a particular number, you can tell the base dealer that you're interested in that number. I like the number 5. So the base dealer will have you drop $5, and anytime the number 5 rolls, you're going to get paid. Place bet odds. You can say, I like the number 4, and we're going to pay you anytime the 4 rolls. If the 7 rolls before the 4, you will lose your money. The place bets do not work on a come-out roll. They cannot win or lose if we have no point. This enables you on a come-out roll to root for a winner 7. After the point is established, the place bets are once again automatically on, meaning they can win or lose. We put your chip in your player position. You'll always know where your money is. You can choose different combinations of wagers. You might like all the bets. And we're going to pay you should any of these numbers roll. This is called an across bet. 27 across is $5 on each of the 5 numbers, not including the point. And $5 on the other numbers, 4, 9, and 10 in this case. If any one of these numbers rolls before the number 7, you will be paid each time. Your bet stays up until you decide to remove it, or we have a 7 out. Now remember, when it comes to your place bets, they do have to have a minimum of $27 to go across, because each of the place bets has to be in a $5 unit. The 6 and the 8 have to go up in units of 6 each. That's just the way it is to correctly calculate it. So anytime you wanted to press a wager, you could do so, but you have to go up on the 4, 10, 5, and 9 place bets in units of 5. And on the 6 and the 8, you're going to go up in units of 6. Your base dealer will help you. To press a bet means to double the wager using part of the payoff. When the 4 rolls, you're going to win 5 for every 9. So if you have a $5 bet, you're going to win $9. If you were to tell the base dealer, press my bet, he will increase your wager to $10 and hand you the $4 balance. The center bet portion of the layout is the area of the layout directly in front of the stick person. It is the stick person's responsibility to place these wagers, and they will announce what to pay to the base dealer should any of these bets win. The stick person in front of them has the center bets, the one-roll bets, the horn bets, the highs, the lows, the yos, the horn highs, the world bets. Those are the center bets. There are plenty of combinations that you can make. None of them are necessarily right or wrong. Whatever you choose is right for you. These are the longest shots on the table. There's only one way to roll a 2, and there's only one way to roll a 12. It's the place side of the 2. The odds are 30 to 1. Now let me tell you about the center bets. On a come-out roll, if the shooter throws the dice and a 2, 3, or 12 rolls, that is a crap number. The pass line will lose. So the players can make an any crap bet. The minimum on the center bets is $1. The any crap pays 7 for every 1 that is wagered. So if you have a $5 pass line bet and you bet $1 any crap, should a 2, 3, or 12 roll, your pass line is going to lose. You lose your $5. But you win $7 because you correctly guessed that an any crap was going to roll. You get $7 in return. You have a $2 profit. The letters C stand for any crap. The letter E stands for 11. It's a very popular bet, and if you'll notice, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 C and E wagers can be made on each side. The C and the E correlate to the proper player position, so the stick person will place that player's chips on the second betting position from themselves. Another popular wager on a come-out roll is to wager on the number 11. If the number 7 or 11 roll on the come-out roll, the pass line will win. So people like to win in addition. So they'll make a dollar bet on the 11. That pays 15 to 1. The three available crap numbers are 2, 3, and 12. If any of those three numbers roll on a come-out roll, the pass line will lose. The don't pass will win if a 2 or a 3 rolls. But if a 12 rolls, the don't pass will not get paid. That's called a push. 2, 3, or 12 loses on the pass line. 2 and 3 wins on the don't. 12 is a push. Remember, a push is you don't win, but you don't lose. 7 or 11 on a come-out roll, the pass line will win. The don't pass will lose if a 7 or 11 rolls. The shooter has not yet attained a point. He's trying to get a point. There's lots of available combinations. You can have a high, low, meaning the highest number thrown possible is a 12 and the lowest number possible is a 2. A high, low. A yo bet is the 11. The reason we call 11 yo 11 is because on crowded games it gets very, very noisy and base dealers could misinterpret the word 11 as the word 7. So we always say yo 11. 11 is a popular wager. You could bet three-way craps. That's an even unit on the three available crap numbers. Another popular wager, a horn bet. That's an even unit on all four of the available center bets. The NE7 pays 4 to 1. That is a one-roll bet, as well as all the craps numbers and the 11. If on a come-out roll, any of these that you've wagered on wins, you're going to get paid at the corresponding odds. What the casino will also do is, let's say you bet $4 on a horn bet. That's going to be $1 on the aces, which is a 1 and a 1, $1 on the ace deuce, or 1 and 2, $1 on the 12 crap, and $1 on the yo 11. If any one of those rolls, you're going to get paid minus the 3 that lost. To explain, let's say you have a $4 horn, $1 on all the numbers here, and the 11 rolls. You win at odds of 15 to 1. You have a $1 wager, you win 15. But didn't you just lose $3 because the aces did not hit, the 12 did not hit, and neither did the 3 crap? So you're going to lose those 3 bets. What the casino will do is pay you 15, but withhold $3 and give you 12, keeping your original wager exactly as it was. It saves the casino from giving you chips that you merely have to throw back to the center and say, give me 2, 12, and 3. You had a $4 horn bet to start, you still have a $4 horn bet. So we're going to calculate the payoff, subtract the losers, and pay you the balance amount. Another popular wager is a world bet. Think of it like flying around the world. That is a $4 horn bet with an additional dollar, with one more dollar on the NE7. So it's a $5 bet. It'll go up in $5 increments. If any of the numbers hit, you're going to get paid minus the losers. And if the any7 rolls, your your horn bet would fall, but the 7 pays 4-1, which replaces your horn bet. It's a push. Once again, a push is you don't get paid, but you don't lose money. And remember, a world bet is a $4 horn bet and the any7. If the 7 rolls, the horn portion, the 4 numbers, they would lose. But the any7 pays 4-1, so it merely replaces the 4 losing numbers, the 4 numbers that didn't roll. All of these are one roll bets. They're good for the next roll of the die. You can do it on a come out roll. You can do it during the course of a roll. It doesn't matter. Another wager that you can have is a horn high bet. It's similar to the world bet in that it's a 5-unit bet. But this one's a little different because it's a $4 horn with the extra unit on one of the 4 horn numbers, or high on that number. If you were to have a horn high 12, you would have a $4 horn, $1 on the aces, $1 on the 12, $1 on the ace deuce, and $1 on the 11. The extra dollar, the 5th dollar, would be high on the 12. You have $2 on the 12, $1 on everything else. If the 12 hits, it's 30-1. You have $2 there. You would win 60, minus the $3 from the other numbers that did not roll. So in this instance, a horn high 12 would pay $57. We have the hard ways. That's this area of the table, above the one roll bets. The hard ways will remain up until they win or a 7 out rolls. We have a hard 4. That is when both dice land with a number 2 uppermost. We have a hard 6. That is when both dice land with a 3 uppermost. A hard 8 is both dice landing with a number 4 uppermost. And the hard 10 is when both dice land with a number 5 uppermost. With a $1 hard 4 bet, when the dice are rolled, if they land like the picture in the center of the table, the bet wins. If it lands on the hard 4, you're going to win 7-1. If it lands a 3 and a 1, then the bet will lose to the house. Or if a 7 is rolled, the bet will lose. Many guests like to have all the hard ways. So you would throw up a 4-unit amount of chips and tell the dealer, I want all the hard ways. They'll put the bet up and they'll monitor it. After the stick call is made from any time the shooter rolls the dice, we mention whether or not it is a hard way or not, and we will pay you accordingly. Should, for instance, a 6 and a 4 roll, it's still a 10, but it didn't come the hard way, and the hard 10 would lose. The hard ways also fall on a 7 out. The hard ways are off commonly on a come out roll. That enables the pass line players to root for a winner 7. You as the guest are in control of your chips. You can have them working or not working at your request. Just announce your intentions to the base dealer. Let's talk a little about strategy. Being a novice player, you want to get started, but you don't want to go in over your head. Start with a pass line wager, and after the point's established, take the odds, because after all, that is the game itself, is the odds against the number 7. After you have a point and you take the odds, you're going to get paid more than you put down. So you want to take the line bet odds. Line bet odds are not advertised. The casino doesn't mind if you take them. We don't mind if you don't take them. After you have a pass line established with line bet odds, place a come bet. With a come bet or two, going up to the individual numbers that roll next, you now have 3 numbers that you're trying to get, the pass line number and your 2 come bets. Be sure to take the come bet odds. They are true odds, just like the pass line is true odds. A good way of getting started is by making a pass line wager. The stick man will push the dice to a shooter who will pick them up and throw them. 6, easy 6. Now that we have a point of 6, the base dealer will mark that point, and you now know that the odds are 6 to 5 against you. By placing $5 odds behind the point of 6, you're taking the true odds on the number 6. If the 6 rolls before the number 7, we're going to pay you $6 for every 5 that you have wagered. If the 7 rolls, you lose $5, but if the 6 rolls, you win $6. After the point's established, it's time to bet the come. The shooter is given the dice. 4, easy 4. The come bet will come to 4. Just like the pass line, you can take odds on the 4. The true odds for the 4 are 2 to 1. There's 3 ways to roll the 4 and 6 ways to roll the 7. Should the 4 repeat, you're going to win $10 for the $5 odds and $5 for the $5 original come bet. Make a second come bet. The shooter is given the dice and they're rolled. 8, easy 8. The come bet is now moved up to the 8 by the base dealer. You can take come bet odds of $5 on the 8. If the 8 rolls before the 7, you win 6 for every 5. The dice are now sent to the shooter again. 6, winner 6. The pass line wins because the number 6 rolled before the number 7. So we're going to pay the pass line odds at 6 to 5, and the pass line even money. Since the 6 repeated, we've completed our point. We're coming out again. You would pick up your winnings, but leave one on the pass line. We are now coming out once again. The shooter rolls the dice, and 5. No field 5. The 5 is marked by the base dealer, and we know that the odds for the 5 and the 9 are 3 to 2. You would take an even number, $6 odds. $6 odds would play. The 8 has not yet rolled. The 4 has not yet rolled. But the 7 hasn't rolled either. So they're still going against the 7. We had a winning 6, and we're now out on the point of 5. A good strategy at this point is to continue with the come bets, keeping 2 in action at all times for a period of time. After you have made several come bets and you want to get a little more aggressive in your style of play, you can make place bets. That is, you can choose a particular number, and if that number rolls, you're going to get paid. You don't have to wait for the chip to go up through the come. If the dice are thrown by the shooter and the roll is 6, you're going to win on the 6. If the number is 4, you're going to win on the 4. If the number is 8, you're going to win on the 8. If 5 rolls, everybody on the pass line will win. Keep this style of play for a little while until you get comfortable doing that. When the shooter gets the dice and throws them, 4, easy 4. It was not the 5 that rolled, and it was not the 7. So the pass line does not win or lose. It was not the 5 that rolled, it was the 4. So it was not the pass line that wins or loses. The come bet on the 4 will come down, and the odds, which are offset on top, will get paid at odds of 2 to 1, plus $5 for the flat bet. It's the player's responsibility to remove their gaming chips prior to the next roll. You want to continue this way, leaving one chip in the come so that you'll constantly have action in the game. When the shooter picks up the dice and they roll, should a 6 roll, your come bet is going to move up to the 6. Well, you already have a place bet on the 6. You were guessing with the place bet that the place bet was going to win before the number 7 rolled, and you were right. So you're going to win $7 for every $6 you have wagered. The base dealer will cut this out in the come and hand it off to you. They'll send it all the way to you. They're going to pay you $7 for every $6 that you have wagered. There's no reason to have a place bet and a come bet at the same time, considering the fact that the place bet can be used as odds. Tell the base dealer, take my place bet down and give me odds. You have almost the identical wager, but you keep $1 in your pocket. Who doesn't want to have extra money in their pocket? You now have the pass line with all the other guests on the point of 5. You're going to win should the 8 roll, and you're also going to win should the 6 roll before the number 7. You might consider continuing on this way for some time. The more aggressive you want to get, the more wagers you can make on your place bets. You might try the field. Remember, they're all good bets when they win. So try a couple of come bets. Make a place bet or two. And don't be intimidated by the size or the noise surrounding a craps table. We're on a point of 5, and we have a come bet on the 6, and we have a come bet on the 8. When the shooter takes the dice and rolls them, 4 was rolled. Well, 4 was not the point. So nothing happens on the pass line, and nothing happens on the don't. A 6 did not roll, neither did a 7. An 8 did not roll, neither did a 7. So basically, absolutely nothing happens to your money. It's still in a holding pattern. Now, a good strategy at this point might be to make another come bet. So once that come bet is made, the shooter shoots the dice. 10. Easy 10. Field roll 10. The stick person is going to announce that it came 6-4 as opposed to 5-5. That makes it an easy 10 and not a hard 10. And he mentioned that it was in the field. Your come bet is picked up and placed on the 10 by the base dealer. You'd want to take $5 odds here. At this point, you have 3 of the 5 numbers that are left. What the heck? Why not place a $5 9 and a $5 4? Your base dealer will help you. Now, if any number rolls, you're going to get paid. You have place bets on the 4 and the 9. You have come bets on the 6, 8, and 10. Plus, you're invested on the pass line. So let's see what happens. The shooter gets the dice. 7 out. Line away. That means all the wagers will fall to the house, and we would find a new shooter. At this point, the base dealer would remove the odds and the pass line and clean up all the chips in the layout. So now you have a wager on all the available numbers. You have a place bet on the 4, a come bet on the 6, a come bet on the 8, a place bet on the 9, and a come bet on the 10. You have the point of 5 on the pass line. Well, let's see what happens next. Winner 5. The base dealer will reach over and pay your pass line wager. He will pay it $9 for your odds and $5 on the pass line. We now have completed the point, and we're coming out looking for a new point. The same shooter, you, will be coming out a second time.